is a test, this is a test. We're going into executive session.
Guess I don't like him very much.
Are you going again tonight? I know. Elaine texted me to see if I wanted her to.
All right, good evening. We're going to start a little bit earlier. We did announce that we could start anytime after 6 because we had an executive session earlier, but it is January 16th, 2024. Welcome to City Council this evening. And we'll start off with the call to order, which I just did. And then the next will be the invocation and pledge. Councilmember Fulmer.
I'd like to change it up a little bit tonight. We've had a fatality, and I'd like for us to not only think about the person that was killed, but also the rest of the people that were involved in the accident. That allows to be changed forever. So just take a moment of silence, please. Amen. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. Chief, it's an honor that you're here to recognize and swear in one of our newest officers.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So, Officer Felipe Kahime, please come up. So, Officer Kahime was born in Florida. He's 24 years old, and he has a Mexican background. His parents came from San Francisco and Juana Kahime. Oh, that's their names. I'm reading too far ahead. Their parents' names are Francisco and Juanita Cahime. He has 2 siblings. He graduated from Crescent City High School in Florida. He made all-state music performer in 2017 and 2018. Moved to South Carolina in 2019. His hobbies are playing music and going to the gym. One fun fact about him is he went to try out for America's Got Talent in 2018 in Tampa, Florida. And he always wanted to be a law enforcement officer. He got hired with the Oconee County Detention Center as a correctional officer in 2021. He made the rank as a supervisor in January 2023. And then in May, we hired him and put him through the academy and put him through his field training, and he's now cut solo, so he is here to be sworn in. So, Felipe, I'm going to swear you in. I need you to raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you are duly qualified according to the Constitution of this state to exercise the duties of the office to which you've been appointed, and that you will, to the best of your ability, discharge the duties thereof and preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of this state and the United States, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. I am going to now read the law enforcement officer code of ethics that you will agree to at the end and abide by during your career here. You ready? As a law enforcement officer, your fundamental duty is to serve the community, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all to liberty, equality, and justice. You will keep your private life unsullied as an example to all, and will behave in a manner that does not bring discredit to you or your agency. You will maintain courageous, calm in the face of danger, scorn, or ridicule. Develop self-restraint and be constantly mindful of the welfare of others. Honest in thought and deed in your personal and official life, you will be exemplary in obeying the law and the regulations of your department. Whenever you see or hear of a confidential nature or that is confided in you in your official capacity, will be kept ever secret unless revelation is necessary in the performance of your duty. You will never act officiously or permit personal feelings, prejudices, political beliefs, aspirations, animosities, or friendships to influence your decisions. With no compromise for crime and with the relentless prosecution of criminals, you will enforce the law courteously and appropriately without fear or favor, malice or ill will, never employing unnecessary force or violence, and never accepting gratuities. You recognize the badge of your office as a symbol of public faith, and you will accept it as a public trust to be held as long as you are true to the ethics of the police service. You will never engage in acts of corruption or bribery, nor will you condone such acts by other officers. You will cooperate with all legally authorized agencies and their representatives in the pursuit of justice. You know that you alone are responsible for your own standard of professional performance and will take every reasonable opportunity to enhance and improve your level of knowledge and competence. You will constantly strive to achieve these objectives and ideals, dedicating yourself before God to your chosen profession, law enforcement. Do you agree? Yes. Good. You're still employed. Okay. So that is it for Officer Cahime. Welcome.
Welcome.
Quick picture.
Congratulations.
I'm good.
You want me to do that?
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. You're welcome.
pulled it back out. I didn't want you to come up expecting to.
All right. Thank you again, Chief. Appreciate it. So I'm going to make a correction for our sake. Thank you, Jeremiah. We did come out of executive session, and we called order this regular city council meeting, but we didn't come out of executive session. So would somebody like to make a motion to come back into a regular council meeting, and so I can say when we come out of executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or discussion? Thank you. All in favor, say right. Thank you. And we have nothing to report in executive session, so thank you for doing that.
Thank you, Jeremiah.
That was my error, so I apologize. All right. We have a great announcement tonight to recognize a wonderful and a tremendous achievement, something that we were all part of, somewhat, but y'all did all the work. I was there in Louisville supporting with my son, which I loved it. So thank y'all for bringing home another national championship. And so we're going to read a proclamation. So, Coach, see you over there to the right. I'm going to read this to you, and then if you don't mind, if you'll introduce the 4 players that you brought in, the captain's here as well. So that would be great. But I'm going to first read this proclamation, and it's an honor for us to read this. So this is a proclamation of recognition of achievement for the Clemson University Soccer 2023 National Champions. Whereas the 2023 Clemson University Tigers soccer program was a united team who exhibited the hard work, dedication, talent, and sportsmanship that enabled these students-athletes to win the 2023 Men's Soccer National Championship. Whereas this victory marks Clemson's 4th national championship in soccer, with the others in 84, 87, 2021, and the 2nd under Coach Mike Noonan, making him the 3rd coach at Clemson to win 2 national championships. Whereas the 9th-seeded Tigers defeated number 2 Notre Dame with a score of 2-1, with goals scored by Brandon Parrish and Usman Silya. Did I say that? Close. Close? All right. Silla. Both of whom were also on the 2021 championship team. And whereas in addition to the 2nd national championship team, Silla was named the 2023 MAC Hermann Trophy recipient. And whereas the team did not concede a goal in the NCAA tournament until a penalty kick in the 89th minute after a handball in the box. Whereas Clemson is now one of only 7 schools in the U.S. with 4 or more national championships in soccer. Whereas this team was also dedicated and successful in their academics, earning, and I'm going to say this very loudly, a collective GPA of 3.19, again, 3.19 for the fall 2023 semester. Now, therefore, I, Robert Halfaker, Mayor of the City of Clemson, South Carolina, do hereby coach Mike Noonan and the 2023 Clemson Tigers men's soccer team on bringing the 8th overall national championship title to Clemson. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the official seal of the City of Clemson to be affixed the 16th day of January 2024. Congratulations. Please come up. I'm trying to make this as informal as possible. Oh, I need to get. The most important. I am not. Give it to him. I'm not going to give it to him. Of course I am.
That's his memorabilia to hang up at home.
His office. Thank you. Thank you. This is yours to keep.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Has it been officially announced about the parade?
The parade was officially announced today.
Okay. Well, what, do you want to share that with everybody here? So, or do you want me to share it?
You go ahead and share it.
Okay. All right. I'm on a roll. I don't know if I am, Coach. So officially, there'll be a parade again. It's Saturday, February 3rd, the morning of. So please come out and support this wonderful team. I know we were fortunate to be a part of it 2 years ago. It was quite an honor, and it's a great achievement, and everybody should be there to recognize your achievement. It's unbelievable what y'all did. So thank y'all.
Thank
You want to introduce your players?
Sure. We've got 4 members of the team with us tonight. The far right is Aiden Hampton, a goalkeeper on the team. Tyler Trimnell, who's a forward on the team, and was the one who had the handball, the 89th minute.
Austin. It's all good.
but also scored a number of goals leading up to the final. And James Kelly, another forward on the team from Charlotte, North Carolina, and then our captain Adam Lundegaard, who captained the team to the national championship. So, guys, put that in the middle and maybe take a photo.
All right, we'll take a photo. All right, can I come over to the side? Julio, would you like to get in this? Sure. Yeah.
Don't say no to that.
Bringing you up.
Go Tigers on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Go Tigers.
Yay.
Oh, that's even better. I love it. That's awesome. If I can ever do anything, let me know. If I can ever do anything for y'all, let me know. Around.
Thank you guys for coming out. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for representing us. Is that the wonderful?
Thank you so much for coming out. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. It's bad luck now. I'm eyeing that vest here.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Our hands are so cold. It's so cold in here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming out.
Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's because
Hey, Chief.
Yes.
What's the wait at the academy these days?
The weight.
Yeah, isn't there? I mean, is there a backlog?
To get in. Not really.
Okay, I just wondered.
Yeah,
Just a question.
it's more of there's several accomplishments they have to make before they get started. And once they do that, I haven't had a problem getting them in once they do.
I've just been part of that for a while, and it's always been a question.
Hey, Coach. See, wait a second, Coach. You can't leave yet.
What's that?
You can't leave yet.
I can't leave?
I got to introduce you. Here is who we recognize Wednesday night. I mean, it's unbelievable. The state champion men's soccer team from Daniel High School from Spring. So thank you, Coach, for coming. We appreciate you allowing us to, and this is awesome. I mean, this is not normal.
Yeah.
To be able to recognize so many wonderful achievements, and thank you for what you did, and you're changing the lives of many young individuals, so that's awesome. Thank you for being here. We look forward to recognizing you again come the end of the spring, right?
No pressure.
Yeah, that's what we keep on saying, no pressure, but thank you for being here. That was awesome, so appreciate it. You can slip out. We're allowed, just go ahead and slip out. Unless you want to stay, you know?
He's like, no.
Yeah, it's like, thanks again. I did also introduce our attorney, Chris King, tonight, so thank you for being here. So appreciate you being here tonight. So that was awesome, and hopefully we'll be able to do that again next year. So next is public session, so I will turn it over to Councilmember
Hopefully the
Smith.
women can follow suit.
Absolutely,
too,
they were
'cause
close.
They did so
They were
well.
close.
Yeah. Well, this is the opportunity to make any comments the public can make comments to the city council at this time. We ask that you limit your comments to 3 minutes. You just come up to the podium, state your name and your residence, and then also we ask that you sign in as well. So we love to hear from you. Anything that is not already on our agenda in either the policy actions or other items that are listed, other policy items. So if it's anything that's not listed, feel free to come up at this time. I don't see anybody jumping out of their seat, running to the podium at this time. So unless we have comments, I do have one. I got it. Thank you for reminding me because I was sure about to go past it. I will read it into the record, and I know we're going to be following up on it. But we got a comment from Stephanie Platt, and she lives at 103 Mountain View Lane. The comment is, I suggested at a conversation with council meeting to please distribute the city ordinances to landlords and apartment complexes within the city limits so their tenants will be aware of them. Has any action been taken on this matter? If not, why? They should be fully aware of this if they live within the city. If I have to follow them, all should. There are so many issues on this topic that need to be addressed. Thank you. And that is her comment. And so in checking with Andy, this is something that was brought up at conversations with council, and we will be following up, and our information will be posted. You
Yeah,
said,
we'll put it on our Conversations with Council postcard, which should go out Friday. We always try to do the Friday following the meeting.
okay.
And I'm sure what we'll end up posting is how we make them aware of these things.
Okay.
All right.
Turn it back over to you,
Thank
Mayor.
you so much. Appreciate it. Next is the approval of minutes for January, or the possible approval of minutes for January 2nd, 2024. Would somebody like to make a motion?
Make a motion, we approve the minutes of January 2nd, 2024 as presented.
Second.
Okay, any comments, discussion? Not all in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you very much. Next, we'll move into reports and discussion. First is the discussion of the nomination process for Black History Month honorees. Councilmember Smith.
Thank you. I guess I could kept going. We will start that process. As we all know, Black History Month is starting February 1st, and this is leap year, so we have 29 days instead of the 28, and we will start the nomination process. Our goal this year is to ensure that we send a link out so that individuals can nominate people from the community. I ask that if you all have someone you'd like to nominate, but we would like for City Council to actually review the nominees, and that we help and work together to select who would be recognized that evening. So just want to make sure that you all are aware and to be looking out for that information, but we want to make sure that City Council members have an opportunity to review and make their recommendations on who should be selected for that particular council meeting. We do recognize that the first and third meeting is how we would do that.
Can I just offer, I know that I think some of us received, can we send out again the past recipients?
Yeah.
Yes.
The last couple of years, just so we'll have that, just for,
I'll ask Sarah, because she keeps a
yeah.
good tally of who was selected, so I'll ask her to send that out to everybody.
So the next is to consider amending the board and commission membership requirements to include inclusive and representative language. You're still on.
That's still on, isn't that something?
That's why they did that.
Well, we talked about this at the last meeting. I think what we wanted to do is just to, once again, bring this to the table because there was some additional language that was considered. And as we talk about that, want to get you all's opinion. That additional language is that City Council should make efforts to recruit inclusive and representative applicants because we talked about ensuring that that our board was representative of the community, but there was discussion about how we as a council should be responsible to ensure we do our due diligence to recruit members of the community to serve on the board, or be willing to at least put in an application. So we wanted to add that information into the language and give you a chance to give your input or feedback. If not, then I'll work with Andy so that we can start massaging, I guess, put the language into the, is it the ordinance?
Be enacting ordinances for the boards and commissions.
So that's why we brought it back to the table.
So just up in the body, we're going to say that we just recruit more, is that kind of, okay?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think to me the hang up last time was the taking of the action because it could mean removing people.
Right.
I think the fact that we're show the accountability to promote it's important and the key thing, to me, it's the key thing.
Well, and I think one other thing we talked about that's important is also, maybe, and Jeremy, we talked about this a little bit, of changing the application a little bit so that people know that they could apply for more than one board. And you can only serve on one, but that you can apply for more than one.
So I know, let me just elaborate on that. I know we talked about, are we basically prioritize your top 3 list, like your top 3?
We hadn't quite gotten that far yet, but if we, I think Jeremiah
It's
and
kind
I.
of like your wish list. I mean,
Yeah,
I know
you
it can't-
envision if we list all of them at the top, check all that apply, maybe, check all where you'd like to apply, because people tend to know what they would they definitely know what they would not want to do, let me put it that way.
Where I'm going with this, if you check all, then you say which one you would just, if it all worked out and came to fruition, which one would you prefer?
You can do ranked choice voting.
Rank
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Top
you-
three,
You can have your
not
your
their
top
choice.
preference, yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
But I think we also need to be mindful, if we want to hit some of our diversity numbers, we're going to have to recruit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's on
that-
us to recruit.
And that's what we're saying, that we want to make sure that
It's acknowledged.
it's acknowledged that we do recruit.
And perhaps open up Leadership Clemson to that discussion.
All right, any other discussion? That's all I have.
All right.
We'll start bringing those to you one by one. Some of them might end up on discussion because there's more involved than just that language. Like we need some more description over who's qualified and who is on BAR, for example.
You just don't retool the whole thing, kind of.
Right.
Yeah. Not specific to this.
Right, yeah, we'll just bring back the enacting ordinances. We'll just start bringing them through with this language and whatever else you need to discuss about it.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, next is a report on tourism marketing and the business passport program. All right. And I think Brian's also helping. It's a team effort.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. It's always a pleasure to see you. I have some information for you guys to look at while I speak, if that's all right. Okay. So I'm going to touch on my holiday passport program and then some billboard marketing I've been doing. Okay. And then the groups that have come to visit us within the last year. There you go. Do you want to go first? All right, so this past December, I implemented the passport program, which is what you'll see there, the light blue booklet. It is a physical shopping passport that encourages shopping local during the holidays. So this holiday edition was the soft launch of the passport program as a whole, and the intention is to expand on it in the future. So this program ran from December 1st until January 12th, 2024. The goal was 50% participation. We had 89% customer participation. And I received wonderful feedback from the customers that have participated, and many of them asked if I was going to do this again. Absolutely. So I definitely am going to do it again. I'm going to expand on it. What the parameters of that look like, I'm not exactly sure yet. But it's going to be bigger and better and a lot more fun. So I'm really proud of that. Sometime this week, I'm going to go to the participating businesses and get their feedback on it. So I have it from both sides. And then the next thing I'm going to touch on is the tourism marketing, the billboards you'll see on that page. So back last January, I had applied and received grant funding from SCPRT to put towards a general See You Here billboard campaign. The billboards will run from January to June of 2024, and the locations all have to be within a at least 50-mile radius to get the grant funding to apply the grant funding to the billboards. So there will be 3 locations, one on I-85 in Commerce, Georgia, one on Highway 441 in Dillard, Georgia, and then one on Highway 78 in Clearwater, South Carolina. And this See You Here campaign is to encourage long weekend heads and beds kinds of stays. And then I also purchased a digital billboard to promote local City of Clemson events throughout the next 6 months on the Ave, anything the Art Center is doing, anything CAM is doing, anything Parks and Rec is doing, to help really get our information out there. Now that billboard is located on Highway 76 next to Tiger Paw Storage in Pendleton coming into Clemson. Allie and I rode out to go see it when it went up, and that was fun. So that will also run from January to June. I also purchased ad space in the Upcountry South Carolina 2024 Visitors Guide, and it came as a bundle, and that bundle came with a print ad, a banner ad on Upcountry South Carolina's website, a boosted Facebook ad whenever we have something we need to promote, And then also an article in an upcoming newsletter, again, when we have something cool to put out or something to promote. So I did that, and I worked with the Clemson Chamber on the 2024 Visit Clemson Visitors Guide. That should be coming out within the next few weeks. I spent National Travel and Tourism Week, May 8th through the 12th, visiting with the South Carolina Visitor Centers, the Welcome Centers, in Landrum and Fairplay to engage with visitors passing through those areas. So I passed out promotional items, the visitors' guides, chatted with them for a little bit. I came into contact with roughly 200 to 300 visitors between those 2 days. And I met travelers from California, from Michigan, Vermont, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, so on. So that was really fun to kind of swap stories and information with them. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the groups that we've had come through. We have the National Corvette Restore Society is hosting a car show in April 2025 at the T at Garrison Arena. So they're still in the early planning stages of that, but I'm working with the gentleman who is bringing that group here. And then I've worked with the hotels to develop room block rates for a family reunion that came through here June 30th through July 2nd, state soccer tournament, and South Carolina Department of Transportation training and rodeo, which will be here March 10th through the 16th of this year. So I'd like to think I've been pretty busy.
Now, do you handle the rowers?
That is the Chamber of Commerce. That is their program, but I help where needed.
Okay. I didn't know where the lines were.
So thank you guys. Do you have any questions?
Do you have an update on the road? How many?
And that's where Brian steps in.
Well, I just have one question. How do people find out about the passport? How do they get?
They are located at the participating businesses and displays. There was a post on Facebook, in the e-blast, and a few of the businesses posted it to their social media and on their website.
Okay.
Other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Appreciate it.
much.
You have been very, very busy. Thank you. Brian, you get to talk to us about rowing.
I do. So currently, we have roughly 18 colleges coming, but that is translating into, today it is 31 teams. We're projecting about 35. Yes, we have talked to every coach about where they should stay. Of course, we've been promoting heads and beds in our city, but we are also the Chamber of Commerce, so it's a fine line there, because we do have members that are outside our limits. But we have our first team coming in the third week in February, and then our busiest week is going to be that March, which is the 23rd, is that Saturday. And currently right now, our last team leaves on the 24th. The only time we will turn away any other teams is it's all based on parking. The trailers and the parking at 12 Mile, they have to have some space to manage their boats and park their trailers. So we have them set up pretty well right now where we haven't maxed it out, but that's the only reason that we would turn anybody away is if it starts overlapping where it's not smooth like it has been in the past. So that is currently our setup for rowing. We are very excited. Last year, I think we had just around 30 teams here, so that's good. But they're coming in daily, so like today I think we added 3 today, so they're a little late. Any questions?
I mean, guesstimate, I guess, do we have the majority of them staying in our beds, or are they staying in other beds?
I don't have that data. I mean, I haven't called. I'm not looking to stir that hornet's nest by calling all the hotels and saying, how much do you have? I can find all this out. I will have a report at the end to let us know where they stayed. We have done our very best to talk to them and influence and sell the ones we have in our town, but I do not have that data. And it's been a touchy subject on how to get that data until they leave.
Interesting.
So, but I will say the only thing that goes with us is coaching in rowing. It's like the turnover and the amount of the coaches that get turned over is we never talk to the same coach. Really? So we're hoping that they're not systematically just coming down and staying at the hotels where they shouldn't be. So we're hoping to influence the newer coaches to stay in our beds. Any other questions?
So I got I think an easy one. So the 3 things that we learned from last year that we're implementing this year.
I wasn't here last year. I'll tell you the 3 things we'll learn this year when we get done.
So what did you learn from just talking?
So things that we learned from last year for sure, we'll be a lot more prepared. So we own boats, we own motors. These boats and motors are already being serviced. I've got like 6 motors left, so we're way ahead of the game. We've already got it set up on transportation to have the boats over there present, so when our first team arrives, they'll be ready to go. We've done everything that we can to be prepared for it. So I've got the course scheduled, I've got the insurance already taken care of, already having conversations with the Corps to make sure we're having meetings with the university. Actually, this week I have a meeting with Adam this week. So we're trying to do the best we can. I think of the preparation of before they get here is major. And this year, I will literally probably be on site every single day in the morning. I'm an early riser. I drive by that property every day on the way to work. So it'll be my job where I will go there, fire up every one of those motors, make sure everybody's doing fine, and make sure that it's a smooth operation. So
you're just on record that you're gonna fire up every one of those motors, just so you know.
Yeah, listen, you have to. I mean, I'm a fisherman, things happen.
And boat motors are.
I think it's great.
Yeah, you have to.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
You were on the board last year, so that's why you knew what was going on.
Oh, yeah, I was.
And this is a question, you had the SCDOT thing. When are they going to start doing the repair work on 133?
I do not know.
We were told.
Is it going to coincide with this?
I think so.
Something else we learned last year is we probably didn't need to close the park as early as we did. I think we can leave it open longer.
Good.
So what are the dates this year?
I'll have to work with him.
February the 7th is when we're closing it, and I think until the end of March.
Depends on when they start coming in, but we erred on the side of caution last year, and that was the note that I took.
So going back to that question, so they are going to be working on the road?
Sounds like it.
133 will be let in March, so they'll award in April.
Okay.
And then we'd be looking at sometime midsummer, probably for construction.
Okay.
Good. So no, okay.
Yeah, they'll be gone by the end of March.
Good job.
Yeah, a good schedule. Of course, we had that planned.
Did you work, Did you work that out?
Yeah. Anything else?
Well, I'm just I like that you're going by there every day. I think that'll be a great way to hear some things on the side of if something's not going right, and probably even where they're staying. I mean, that's going to be a great way to do that.
Well, developing
And
relationships.
they'll take you out on one of the cruise, and you can.
No. Not unless I can bring my fishing pole.
No.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Laura knows this, but Brian, we always say you're more than welcome to leave if you need to leave, because we understand people have family obligations. So,
It's the happening thing in town tonight.
okay, if you want to stay, that's up to you. All right, staff report.
Trying to run people out.
I'm not trying to run people off. I'm just trying to give them an easy way out. All right, Andy, sorry, staff reports.
Nathan Hinkle's going to give you an update on our DOT quarterly meeting.
Yeah, so we do, evening, I'm sorry. We had our DOT quarterly meeting last Thursday. There's a couple, 4 things I just wanted to highlight. One, they did give us permission that there wouldn't be any really big holdups for us putting city logo signage on either of the pedestrian bridges that exist. They just said as long as it's just a city logo, they're fine with us through an encroachment permit as long as we detail how we're going to attach it and things like that. So that one came up. That's a surprise, I guess I would say. The signal pods along 123 is what they're calling it. So it's the connected adaptive signal timing system is live. It came live early December, about mid-December, right before graduation. They went through that process of kind of fixing all the bugs, so it should be working and communicating, and the camera should be pointed in the right direction. So everything should be working except for the College Avenue and Edgewood signal, because there's a fiber cut going towards it. they're waiting to get new fiber actually ran to the signal before the signal will start functioning. So it's, all the equipment's there, that one's just not been tested. So that's the one that's not communicating. So that's a pretty small thing. There are 2 roads that are bordering the city and kind of come into the city that are going to be repaved. The Old Cherry going towards the forest, and then also 133 going all the way to 6 Mile will be repaired and repaved. They follow this, they're in the same letting schedule, so they'll be let in March, probably awarded in April, and then it's at the contractor's discretion. They normally get about 180 days to complete the work, so the contractor will come in sometime from April till September to come in and kind of complete that work. So those are the kind of the big things that we talked about, but if there's anything else, we can feel free to ask questions.
After our meeting, someone asked me about where are they repairing and where are they paving on 133, especially if it's in the city, the part that's in the city of Clemson's city limits, I should say.
Yeah.
Can we follow back up with DOT to ask, or we already know?
I think it's starting at Calhoun and going all the way to 6 Mile.
So that's where they're paving or repairing.
I think they'll
both,
patch
everything,
and then they'll pave it.
They're going to pave it all. We just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Do what?
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
That was the question.
And then they're gonna patch.
They'll patch. They'll probably be
Because it was kind of
period.
communicated that some places would be patched, some places.
Yeah. From this discussion I've had with
all the way
construction, it's been a complete repave all the way to 6 Mile.
That's great.
Calhoun.
From Calhoun to 6 Mile.
That was confusing the other night.
Did you say Cherry, Old Cherry?
Old Cherry, so, the intersections, Cherry, Old Stone, and then Old Cherry going
They're
towards
gonna
the
be, when is that going to take place?
That will close in April, and then it'll be sometime after April is when they'll the contractor will come in and pave that.
Week school starts back up.
They'll actually, after football season starts.
Well, because we get all,
Their biggest concern right now is because we do have that intersection project that we're
Right,
currently doing.
right.
Their biggest concern is, are we going to be done before they're going to be done?
right.
Yeah, I was going to ask if there was coordination.
Yeah, so we're
That's the
discussing,
question.
we're kind of talking with them, but I'll know a lot better tomorrow. We actually have a meeting about remobilization with our contractor to restart the construction process for that
Because,
intersection.
a lot of us travel that way to get to Seneca and, so.
Nathan, can I ask, did flooding do any other damage? I've seen what it did to Nettles and sort of back on 12 Mile a little bit, but is there any other damage?
Not for infrastructure wise, obviously we had some sanitary sewer overflows. It's kind of is part of the deal when you get a lot of flooding because of I&I, which we're trying to correct with ARPA and different projects. We did have a little bit of damage that was just like minor repair on Clarendon Drive for the culvert that happened there. It was extremely minor. I mean, we lost a foot of shoulder that's able to be repaired, and then DOT had some shoulder on the culvert on Berkeley near Issaquina that kind of got washed away. They're going to repair that as well.
Okay.
And they put our do not block intersection sign up by ACE. That's been something I've been asking for since I got here.
Oh, yeah. We'll see how well they listen.
It's there.
Any other questions for Nathan? Thank you I just want to publicly say thank you for organizing those quarterly meetings.
Yeah.
Because I think they're making a difference. We're hearing about what DOT can or cannot do in a very transparent type situation, and then they get our feedback I know all at once, and they seem to like it, and I think it's replicating throughout the upstate. I hear they're having numerous meetings with other municipalities now, thanks to what you've been doing for the last year and a half. So I know Ally and Andy have been very much a part of it as well as Chief, of course. So thank y'all all.
Thank you.
Making a difference.
Just with
Bob's got a question.
the issue of signals at Issaquina Trail and 123.
Yeah.
I see on here that they're saying, they're still talking counts. I certainly hope that we're still pushing that this is not about traffic counts. This is about visibility and sight lines. It's a safety sightline more so than it is a count issue at that intersection.
Yeah, there's the 8 warrants for signals.
Yeah.
Sightline can be varied depending on speed and things like that. So you have to meet 2 of those, but counts you only have to meet 1. So that's the reason that they're trying, so they've actually, this isn't going to be a DOT count, so a lot of times when we ask for a signal, they'll come in and they'll send one of their traffic inspectors to come out there and they have a machine and they literally just press a button every single time a car comes past. They aren't doing that. They're hiring a third party count to do both, and they're going to do a long term. So this is going to be like a week or 2 weeks worth of counts, and then they'll be averaged. So it's either if either the peak hours, which is 7 to 9, 4 to 6, or if the total counts on the left turning movements is basically what always triggers a signal. So, but they're looking at both of those, and they're hiring, and to the point that they're hiring a consultant to come in and do the counts for them. So,
As a redundant measure, could we include that in the Safe Streets for All?
it will be. The entire length of Issaquena has been in this, was one of the roads highlighted in the SS4A grant. As soon as we start the action plan, that will be one of the roads that we look at, and they'll be looking at, and to your point on safety, especially for like pedestrian safety and things like that, DOT is, at least the conversations we had with them last week, they're very open to pedestrian safety improvements. If it's a side issue because of pedestrian safety issues, they're willing to have discussions on how we can do improvements and things like that to increase the safety on this intersection.
It's a site issue for vehicle safety as well right now.
I'm always amazed there's not more accidents there.
You can't see.
Any other comments, questions for Nathan? Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank y'all.
You'll be up later on, so you can't leave, sorry.
Mr. Jackson has a couple things for you as well.
I'll have some dates for you, and maybe some RSVP. City Town Municipal Association is going to be on January 30th. I'll send out an email for that. So if you reply back to me and make that. We are hosting, so if you can make one, try to make that one priority. Hometown Legislative Action Day, we're having a get together with some legislators on February 6th at 7:30. Smoked, so we RSVPs for that. And I sent an email about ITGA conference, June 5th through 7th. So if you're going to make that, early bird for that is in the end of the month. So just let me know where you stand either way.
In the lovely metropolis of College Park, Maryland, I might add.
College Park, Maryland.
Maryland's lovely. Not College Park particularly, but.
All right. Everybody's got that, all right, thank you. All right. Next is policy action items, and just remember 2-minute limit per speaker. First is to consider approving the second reading of ordinance to amend the City Code Chapter 7 Finance. I will divert. On budgeting, Leslie.
Good evening.
Yes.
The change we would like to see and recommending approving as the second reading is ordinance section 7.5, particularly line item D, and to state that it's all departmental budget variances greater than 10% or $10,000, whichever is smaller, shall be reported to the City Council during a regular council meeting.
Questions, comments for Leslie? No, would somebody like to make a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the second reading of ordinance section 7-5, budgeting as presented.
Second.
Comments, discussion, comments from the public? If not, all in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you, Leslie. Thank you again.
Have fun.
Lindsay's coming on up. So next is consider approving the second reading of ordinance to amend the City Code Chapter Traffic Section Violations, Penalties for Failures to Comply with the Traffic Citations section, and I don't have my glasses on here, meter and license parking, so I'm just going with the flow. They're right in front of me, sorry.
There have been no changes since the first reading.
Are there any updates to the contract and the search for the kiosks?
We got an update about that, right? Kiosks are.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They're here.
Yeah, they're here.
They're good, yay.
We go
go pour some concrete bases for them.
Yeah. Get out there with your.
Of all the things I don't know how to do.
All right. Questions, comments for Lindsay? All right, would somebody like to make a motion?
I move we approve the second reading of amendments to sections 17, 18, and 34 of the traffic ordinance as presented.
Second.
Comments, discussion, public? All right, if not, all in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you.
Other policy items, she's out of here.
I know. She didn't wait for you to say anything.
She didn't even look back when she said thank
I was
you.
like, jeez. All right. Consider a sponsorship request from Reese Across America. And Andy, I think you're gonna add, in the committee, or y'all saying anything, the two committee members?
Well, this one here is just, they came and presented at the last meeting, so everyone got to see it. And
Okay.
since they presented at the last meeting, I followed the typical protocol, discussion to vote. So it's exactly as they proposed. It's a request from Ann for $850, and she's doing, I think, 125 more reads this year than she did last year, and Melody's requesting 170 for Old Stone Church.
All right. Would somebody like to make a motion?
Make a motion, we approve sponsorship request from Reese Across America as presented.
Second.
Any comments, discussion? Questions? All right, all in favor, raise your right hand. All right, thank you, Andy. All right, so the next was to consider an amendment to the May 5th, 2023 Link Strategic Partners Professional Services Contract. And what I'm going to ask, if everybody's okay on council, is we're going to defer, and I say table this, I should say table, let me use a delay, thank you, Bob. Delay until our next city council meeting so we can have more information about this extension or amendment to their contract. But what we would like to do is recommend at least 2, if not 3, on city council to also be part of these discussions before the next city council meeting. So are there 2 or 3 members on city council that would be willing? It would be a Zoom call, literally probably an hour or less of your time. Bob's already raising his hand, Alicia, Catherine. Okay, done. That was easy. Thank y'all for volunteering so quickly. Are y'all okay with delaying this item?
Yes.
I stand by, head nods, yes, okay. Moving on. Thank you. Andy, did you need anything else?
No, I got it.
Okay. All right, next is to authorize, Nathan, you're coming back, the city engineer to apply for the South Carolina Recreations Trail Program grant and commit to a minimum match of $25,000 for this grant.
Yeah, this is the same RTP grant that we use for the fast track in Clemson Park and then the Gateway Connector. This is just a section going from the parking lot at Ashley Deering to the parking lot at Toddy's, I'm sorry, and would just connect both, and it'd go in the floodplain behind the baseball field. And then if awarded, the other advantage that we get with this grant too is that we have some drainage issues in Ashley Deering. That this would, so this is a kind of a...
Just a few.
Very nice way to put it.
I mean, as long as it's not flooding, it's not wet.
Yeah.
So this would help us make sure that we can keep that, we can repair some of those issues if awarded the grant as well. So kind of trying to create some more opportunity and then also fix some drainage problems.
Well, the erosion, has gotten pretty bad with protecting some, and we need to protect those trees, so.
Questions for Nathan? All right, would somebody like to make a motion?
I vote that we authorize the city engineer to apply for the South Carolina Recreational Trail Program grant.
Second.
Commit to the minimum match of $25,000.
Second.
Comments, questions? If not, all in favor, raise your right hand. All right, Nathan.
Thank you.
Now, you just gonna dart out here? All right, we're watching you. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, excuse me, can I ask one question? Nathan, so are we estimating that the cost of that project would be $50,000?
No, it's probably gonna be close to about 140.
Oh, okay. That's what, so it's just a match for the grant,
The
okay.
grant requires a 25%. That's the reason there was an up. We may see 25,000 because the grant would give us 100,000. We'd get a 20%, which would be 25, and then we'd have to cover the additional 15. If it was 140,000.
Thank you.
All right, Chief, you You've been waiting very patiently. Next is authorize chief to sign an agreement with the Phoenix Center for funding the fake ID pilot program.
Sir, so the last time I was before you, we introduced the program that's similar to Charleston's, and we had to go find funding. So I lucked out because I reached out to Deotis and asked if there was any state funding available, and they had a grant that they had some extra money in that they needed to use for preventative services, and they agreed to provide $20,000 of the grant to this project, and it has to be spent in this fiscal year. So the way Deotis works their grants is they have another subrecipient that receives the grant in our judicial district. That is the Phoenix Center for the Thirsty District. And I have Amanda Davis she's the Director of Prevention and Community-Based Services at Phoenix Center in Greenville. So they will actually be receiving the money from Deotis, and then we'll be the subrecipient through them. So the agreement that we're asking for permission to sign is so that we could be that subrecipient of the grant. And Amanda, I'll let her talk here in a second. She also offered to give the PREP class, which stands for the Palmetto Retailers Education Program, which is the class that they give to retailers for checking IDs and all of those types of things. And so we've got 3 classes set up for retailers coming up here at the end of January, beginning of February. I've already sent that out to all of the establishments that I have email addresses to. I've also gone and hand-carried letters to convenience stores and liquor stores with that information on and asking them if they want to be part of the pilot program as well, which I'm starting to get feedback already that some of them want to participate. And I actually learned something when I was doing that at the convenience stores, and because if anybody's ever been up late enough to watch bar closing and you see the Circle K on College Avenue or the 7-Eleven out on 93, they get inundated because they all leave the bar and then they go to the store to buy the rest of their beer, and then they go on from there. And they have point of sale scanners where they'll scan somebody's ID, but again, those scanners are very much like the ones I've already talked about, where all they do is look for the date of birth. They don't check for the validity of the ID. They scan it, it says they're old enough, they sell them the beer, and off they go. So a few of them were like, yeah, we really want that because our point of sale doesn't scan New York or doesn't scan another state, so they get some of these out-of-state ones that they don't scan. And so then they have to look at them and try and figure out if they're of age or not. But I give Amanda the floor to talk a little bit more about what they do.
So, good evening. Hi. It's nice to be in Clemson. A little bit of change of pace from Greenville. But a little bit about where our funding comes from, just in case you're curious. So the reason that it's funded through Greenville, and we do have a supporter here from Pickens Behavioral Health Services, is Greenville is in our judicial circuit, is the larger entity. So we are the funding source for the whole circuit. And this specific grant is through it was COVID supplement funds that was given to Deotis to target specific issues in the state. And Deotis decided that this funding would go to alcohol enforcement. And with the leftover funding that we have, and Chief proposing this idea to Deotis, it was decided that this would be the perfect pilot project for those supplement funds, which is why they have to be used this fiscal year.
So if approved, we'll have enough funding to get us up to just about June. And we still have to find funding for the rest of the pilot program if we're going to go 1 year. So I know I've reached out to the university to see if they would still be able to do the matching funds after this fiscal year because they only pledged this fiscal year. So I have a communication out. I'm waiting to hear back on that. But the good news is it's half of the total cost of the pilot project for the next part of the year. So I'll put it in the budget proposals moving forward, and hopefully we'll be able to get some funding there and move forward. Any questions?
So I thought we had talked about maybe this pilot would be just 15. Is that retailers?
It's going to be 15 establishments, and each establishment will be able to get up to 5 devices for the application. So I have that contract as well. I know we've sent it to the attorneys. They're okay with the contract with the telecheck. So we're just waiting for funding to start this off.
But it seemed like we were talking about maybe targeting the downtown retailers. Is that not the case?
No, I've gone to all the liquor stores that we have in town. I've gone to the convenience stores, so the 7-Eleven on 93, the Marathon on 93, Tiger Mart on 93, the Fast Track on 93 right across from campus, at college and campus. And I'm still reaching out to folks to see who's interested. But I did email blast all of the establishments downtown that I have email addresses for to see who is going to be interested, and I've got a couple of responses back already. Okay.
And does this pilot program, does this cost the retailers anything?
It does not. We're providing everything for free for a year. Sorry, I take that back. They have to provide the device that it will go on. So if they don't currently have a device in their store that they can install it on and it's communicating with the internet, then they'll have to get one. Now, in a lot of the convenience stores that I've been in, they say they already have a tablet that they use in there and they can just install it on the tablet and use it. So, but many of the downtown businesses may not have such a device and they'll just have to get one.
Any requirements from the grant that you would need from us if we accept the grant? Is there anything that would need to be provided to you all?
Data.
Just
so
data.
It's just data, and most of this will come from the IntelliCheck software that they will send Chief, and then he'll just report it back to us. We are offering, it's more of offering the merchants to sit through prep, the retail education program. So if they're part of the pilot program, they would also go through prep. This is a course for all merchants. It's South Carolina specific, so it goes over all the laws for selling alcohol and tobacco to minors in the state and the risks associated with that, and also talks about selling to like intoxicated people and such as the laws kind of go in the state. This is a DEOTIS approved course, as well as there's another course out there, but not state specific. And it's 4 hours, and we would offer it for free to the retailer, so it wouldn't cost them anything.
I have some feelers out to find out if the establishments that employ this will get any kind of discount on their insurance for doing so. And preliminarily, I was told it would be a good idea, but I haven't gotten anything positively back to say, yes, they'll give a discount. So I'm still waiting for that information.
Yeah, that liability issue.
Any other questions, comments? All right, would somebody like to make a motion?
Make a motion, we authorize Chief Campos to sign an agreement with the Phoenix Center for funding of the Fake ID pilot program as presented.
Second.
Comments? Well, second from Lily. You were too slow, John. Too slow. All right. Comments or questions from the public?
No, thank you for coming from Greenville.
Yes, thank you. And Pickens.
All in
And
favor?
Pickens, yes.
All in favor, raise your hand. All right, thank you very much. Thank y'all.
Yeah, thank
Like
you.
Lillian was just saying, thank you for making the trip from Greenville and from Oconee County. If I heard that correctly. Pickens. See, I was, Pickens, sorry. See, it's getting late for me. Sorry, no, it's not getting late. Thank you.
Gotta go back.
All right, so next is mayor council reports, comments, new business. The only thing I'll reiterate was what Jeremiah just said about the Pickens County Municipal Associations. If at all possible, I understand there's family obligations, there's other commitments, but please try to make the one that we are hosting here at the end of the month on that Tuesday night. If, you know, I think it's at 6:45, 6:45. The city is literally not only hosting this one, but we're responsible for leading the meetings this year as well, which we have taken on, and we will do our part to help the county. With that said, if you can, RSVP to Jeremiah as soon as possible. It's also for a meal count as well, because we do, the host city does provide the meal when they
Good
host.
speaker with some pertinent knowledge.
The speaker's already said it's Scott from Municipal.
I'm saying that there's a good speaker with pertinent knowledge.
And what time again?
6:45.
Okay.
And then 6:45 here. I mean, fire station.
Fire station.
I always say here, see?
Yeah.
Correction, fire station. And the last thing I'll say, I thought between, I don't know, Sarah, all Sarah. So please thank Sarah the next time. Staying in the know. If you can, give these out. I'll pass a few more. Just make sure we're getting this out. The ones that I passed on, I know, John, I know you passed out a few. I know others have too, so don't get me wrong. It's just more, it's just, I've gotten some really good feedback. They feel like that's been a good QR code to have to know what's going on within the city. So just keep that in mind. Please thank Sarah the next time you see her. That was it?
I got one thing.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to give everybody an update. I know I have to wear this out. But on the 6th, we did the community picket painting, and we did 78. And we had, it was a great community event. It really was. Everybody turned out. Lillian, I know you painted a couple. I've seen them. And, I know Alicia's painted some. Bob painted some. You painted some. I know.
No, Claire painted them, not me.
Your name's on a couple of them.
It was a lot of fun. It really was.
I helped. I was the artist assistant. It was a blast.
It was fun.
It was a
We still have 75 to do.
My initials.
You put your, that's what
But I've reached out to Meredith out of the rec center, so hopefully they'll do some out there. And I've reached out to Linda Davis over at New Hope, and hopefully they'll do some. So
Could do them at the Downs.
That was not.
I'm sorry,
That was not
I didn't
expected.
even like that.
That was nowhere close to fair.
All right, moving on. Please.
I just have a comment, because I know we have received a grant for the community with Curtis Circle and Abel and Lil John. Are we going to go ahead and schedule another meeting? So have we scheduled that yet?
We have.
Okay.
We're going to be hosting the conversation with council there on the 15th, or the 8th.
Okay.
We've coordinated that with Lisa and are working on some flyers to take to that meeting, to give to her as well.
Okay. And where is it going to be?
Abel.
Church?
Church.
Okay.
I would just feedback. We also got other comments at that last conversation of council at Abel. If we have updates on some of that other feedback as well. So some of the comments that were made. Because I know you had a list. I mean, like you always do. I think, but there's some other there's some other follow-ups.
Follow up, like to see if Duke ever got that street light put into the park, things like that.
That's what. Be perfect timing. That's all I'm saying.
Don't forget the speed limit sign on Mountain View, please.
Oh, that's right.
Please.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Yeah, we got a whole list.
Other reports, comments? Any new business? No? All right. Would somebody like to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Comments? Not? All in favor, raise your right hand. All right. Have a great evening. Go Tigers tonight at 9 o'clock.